Welcome to Season 10 of the More Than Sunday podcast. I'm your host, Rohini Drake, for this season that we've been calling Love Served Here, as we've taken the show on the road to visit with some of your favorite local restaurants and organizations who are sharing their stories of how they're bringing people together around food. Now, as they've shared some of their tips, tricks, and even secrets to doing this, we've been able to learn and apply some of these lessons that we've learned to our lives and our spaces. In this episode, we visited with Emrah, Aktepe, and Berk of the Dialogue Institute of Dallas, as they've shared some of their inspiration and motivation behind why they do the work that they do to build bridges between people from different backgrounds, cultures, and religions. And they're doing it using food. And at the end of this episode, they shared something very special with us, some of their food and something called Turkish coffee. It was the first time that I've tried it, and not only was it delicious and strong, they also shared a beautiful story about the meaning of it and what it means to sit down and have Turkish coffee amongst friends. So I hope you enjoy this conversation and learn lots from those representatives of Dialogue Institute. We're here at Dialogue Institute Dallas, and I know that there are a lot of people that listen to the More Than Sunday podcast that may not know about Dialogue Institute. So I'm wondering if you would mind sharing kind of your role here at Dialogue, and then the mission and vision. Why does Dialogue Institute Dallas exist here?
Yes, sure. Dialogue Institute Dallas is a nonprofit organization serving the FW area. We are located in Richardson. And Dialogue Institute Dallas has been established with the mission of fostering mutual understanding, mutual respect among people of diverse faiths and cultures. Since our inception, it has been our goal to create platforms for interfaith dialogue and intercultural dialogue. Over the years, our programs evolved to include a variety of events and activities that is all about having a more inclusive community.
Oh, that's wonderful. So what is that born out of? Is that something that is through faith, or is that something that just when you're in a community that there's a group of people that just want to engage more deeply with the community? Where does that come from?
Actually, most part of it comes from faith, because it's also a practice of our Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. He set an example with engaging with people from different backgrounds, diverse culture, different faiths. And Emrah has been the previous executive director of the Dialogue Institute. Maybe he may want to talk more about that. And he's also part of our committees organizing those events too.
That sounds great. Emrah, if you want to share a little bit more about that.
Well, the coming back, it's Islamically, it is a tradition to be in good relations with your neighbors. And coming closer to our time, our leader or our inspiration, Fethullah Gülen, suggests that there are three major problems in the world: education or lack of education, disunity, and poverty. And he has established programs or encouraged people to address these three major issues by providing education to those who are not able to get quality education, and relief efforts for those who are in need, and also promoting dialogue among the communities that we live in, not just a specific community, not just a specific country, not specific groups, but everybody. So the base of what Dialogue Institute Dallas does today, or has been doing in Richardson for 23, 24 years, is based on what Gülen preached or promoted at starting, I think, 80s. So that's where the idea comes from.
So then what does that look like practically? Like as you're based here in Richardson in the last 20 plus years, what does that look like practically, the programs or what comes out of that to build some of that community?
I would say it is very practical when you want to do it. As the main topic is food, it's also a tradition to share food with neighbors. So bringing people together is easy and hard at the same time, because some people are looking for opportunities to get together with those who are different. But it's also hard for those who is not interested or maybe against it. But we have a lot of commonalities. One of those, number one, I would say maybe food. So everybody eats, and food is part of many cultures. So when we involve food and invite neighbors, friends to get together, it's a great opportunity. It's a great atmosphere where people can get together and talk about common things that we share every day. And unless we get together, or until the time that we get together, unfortunately, we tend to focus on the differences. Mm-hmm. But once we sit with people who we do not see every day, may not see every day in our social circles, it is just kind of like an awakening that we're not so different.
So you see this happen at the different things that you engage with in the community. And so we were talking a little bit, and there's the monthly cooking classes, there's Ramadan dinners. Beril, do you want to share a little bit more about what you've seen when you've done these cooking classes and maybe what those cooking classes entail?
Yes, throughout the year we have intercultural events and interfaith events. We have some signature events we are organizing here at this room, such as First Responders Appreciation Dinner. This year we are going to organize the 4th annual one. Hopefully every year we learn about the amazing work done by our first responders in the city of Richardson, and we come together with our local friends, all from diverse backgrounds, diverse faith groups, and we host neighborhood Thanksgiving dinner and interfaith Thanksgiving dinner. We are a member of Richardson Interfaith Alliance, and we have great partners there. We organize Women's Day panel and dinner every year, where we are having great panelists talking about very good topics. We are having Ramadan dinners every year. It's the whole month, and our friends learn about the significance of Ramadan for us. In 2023, 24 or 25 different worship places hosted us. One of them was First United Methodist Church in Richardson, and we had a great time there. And when we sit at the tables, we learn that we have a lot of similarities about faith, about serving the community, about importance of the family values and things like that. And we have monthly cooking classes at the end of each month. They are on last Saturday of each month. We are coming from a different culture. We have different backgrounds. We attend cultural festivals and interact with more people throughout those events. And in all of them, food takes an important part.
Yes, that's what it sounds like. Mm-hmm. And I want to know a little bit more about these monthly cooking classes, because I've never been to one, but I've heard about them. Mm-hmm. And as you said, with the Turkish background, that you're sharing some of your the food from your culture. So what does that look like? What have you seen from people when they come to these classes? Is it what they've expected? Are some of them surprised? Are some of them nervous about what they're going to encounter? Or do people come here with an open mind to say, like, I'm here to learn to cook new food?
Well, I will say about the establishment of the cooking classes. When Dialogue Institute Dallas was established, and similar organizations in different parts of the U.S., cooking classes tend to be one of the first programs because, again, food is a big part of the culture, and we already come with equipped with that knowledge and ability. to share. So it's one of the first programs to be established, and it's also because it's food, it's easier to get attention from the community. So it has been happening, I think, since the first year. So I would say may not be in the same consistency, may not be, I think they used to be seasons, like 8 weeks seasons or terms in the previous years, but it's been monthly. And we have more new people in every class, and from maybe 10, 15 people to like a couple years ago, we have classes, cooking classes with up to 40 people. And one of the good things is we have a lot of different recipes. People are interested in cooking as well as eating. We're not judging anybody if they don't want to take part in the rolling the dough part, but they are encouraged to take part and kind of get hands-on. So it's a good experience. And on top of the food part, people get to talk to or get to meet new people, not just the presenters or the chefs here, but different people coming from the community. So it's a great opportunity to meet new people around good food. So it is one of the, I would say, very successful programs that we have been hosting.
Yeah, no, and like I said before, it's something that I haven't done, but I'm definitely signing up for the next one that I can get to, because I've seen pictures and the food looks fantastic. And it's food that I don't necessarily know much about, but would love to learn more about. So I think that's something that's, like you said, it's a commonality that we have. Like we eat, we all have to eat. And so kind of gathering around that and branching out, trying something new. And then in that opportunity, learning about our neighbors who are bringing it to us and sharing it, generously sharing it with us. Kind of in that same vein, you mentioned the Ramadan dinners that you partnered with local houses of faith with. Tell me more about maybe what you've learned, or like even things that you've seen around those tables when neighbors start to talk to each other. Or, I've noticed that sometimes it's just, I want to ask a question and I just don't know how. I don't want to offend anybody. I don't want to make anybody feel like, I'm just coming from a different direction than they may think. And so I imagine that there's some safety in those spaces where it's like, no, we're here and we want to invite you into this special thing to us. So what have you seen around those tables, or what conversations have you heard?
During Ramadan, when different worship places host us, usually one of us is making a presentation at first, and through that presentation, people learn about the significance of Ramadan, our belief and practices. And then there's a Q&A part. But other than that, when we sit at the tables, when we talk to each other, we see that we are not literally believing in the same things, but we also find that we have a lot of similarities in our beliefs, in our aims, what we want to do in this life, what we are doing for God's sake, and things like that. And we learned that our friends has also similar practices, not exactly the same as Ramadan, but they also have kind of fasting practices. We learn about the significance of those traditions, those beliefs from each other.
I would add that Ramadan dinners, the way it started was we usually hosted people at our location. And I don't remember exactly when it was that we had like, okay, we should, go to other people's homes or houses of worships, So when I came to Dallas a long time ago, we established, I'm sure they did it before, but we had, I think, 3 or 4 Ramadan dinners outside at different houses of worships. At the last couple of years, Ramadan lasts 30 days. We had 23 or 24 different locations that we hosted these dinners. And it's It's mutual understanding, because the setup is we start months before Ramadan to arrange the details and the location and the dates. And we also arrange our community members to attend. So what we do is we mostly prepare the food. Our team prepares the food, and we take the food to the place that we're going. They usually provide additional food or drinks or things like that. So let's say 20, 40, sometimes 100 people coming from the place that we're going. We're also going with 20, 30, 40 people from our community. So it's an effort to mutually educate is a heavy word, but have both sides understand each other better, because we're not trying to promote Ramadan or promote anything. It's to establish mutual understanding, have people have better connections. So in these Ramadan dinners, we had many occasions where at the tables, this is my top thing for Ramadan dinners, that people feel comfortable to ask questions, as you mentioned, because there's a lot of prejudice, there's a lot of, people are not afraid but hesitant to ask certain questions. But once you're at the table sitting together, when you're talking about things, and when mostly on our end, let's say, we volunteer some information, people feel comfortable asking other questions that they don't feel comfortable asking elsewhere, or maybe they didn't in the beginning. And so it's a great conversation, as well as for our community to ask non-Muslims about their faith, because we all have prejudices. So I witnessed many good stories after these Ramadan dinners. And one of the highlight of Ramadan dinners is we go to a place of worship, and people sitting at the same table arrange to meet at their homes for another dinner.
Love that.
So it brings, I would say that is a success of the program, because we have many friends from the community that still talks to the people who sat at their table for years.
That's incredibly powerful. Like, just to hear that, because if you don't grow up in the Muslim faith and you hear about Ramadan, and you may go through your whole life and not meet anybody that observes Ramadan, and to be able to be invited to that table to say like, oh, I am so glad, like, I just want to know more about it. And then to know that after that first meeting, just one dinner together, that community is being built and friendships are being made, where they can take it from that one dinner and then grow and learn more about each other's cultures, and then just who we are as people and as neighbors. So
that's the thing I like to focus. It is pretty easy once it takes one effort, one event, one dinner, one meal, one coffee. Once you sit together, that connection is already there. You just need to take one step forward, and it happens. Not for everybody, but for majority, it only takes one steps to move forward to establish that connection. And what Dialogue Institute does is to provide the environment that people can take those first steps.
kind of in the spirit of what we're doing with this season of the podcast, we want you guys to share with us anything that you wanted to share, food-wise, drink-wise, that comes from your culture, something that you may share around the table with people that you're meeting, new neighbors that you're meeting. And so I believe Turkish coffee is something that you wanted to share with us.
Yes, of course. Turkish coffee is the first thing as soon as I wake up. I drink it before I drink water. Turkish coffee has a very long history. It goes back to Ottoman Empire, and it's very traditional. We usually serve it with Turkish delights, and traditionally people drink it after breakfast, and you cannot drink it on the way. because it also represents friendship. When we offer Turkish coffee, we are also offering our friendship. So we need to sit together, have a chat around Turkish coffee. And it's a big part of wedding ceremonies in Turkey too.
So if you get a Turkish coffee on a paper cup on the go, that's not Turkish coffee.
Oh
Yes.
my goodness. I didn't know that. I'm glad to know that. There is a place I go to that has Turkish coffee.
Let's say that's not the proper way to do it.
Yeah, and we had a saying. We say if you drink Turkish coffee with someone, that means you will be friends for 40 years. Something like that, correct?
Yes.
That's beautiful. I
Yes.
love that. All right. Well, so should we bring out the Turkish coffee, I guess? Okay, so we have our Turkish coffee, and so I have a million questions, but I want you to explain and tell me all the things that I should know before I jump in on all the questions.
First of all, you need to drink the water first before drinking Turkish coffee. It's for cleansing your palate, so you can taste it better.
Okay.
And then we drink it sip by sip, slowly.
Okay. And so I see there's like sugar cubes. Are these sugar cubes or what are they?
There are
different colors.
Turkish delights. Turkish delights with different flavors.
Didn't even know. Okay. Is that for after the coffee?
No, you can have it before or after.
Okay. And then, so I noticed there are 2 different coffee sets on our table. And one is copper with some ceramic inside. Can you tell me the difference or like why you would have different sets?
It's based on the geographical location for us in Turkey. Eastern part is usually copper, is kind of more dominant with the ceramic piece inside. It's usually clear. But for on the western side of Turkey, copper still like it's everywhere. But there's one town that are famous for the ceramics. And this is more traditional with the ceramic with the blue and red flowery floral designs on it.
It's beautiful. Is Turkish coffee sweet?
It depends.
Okay.
You can have it, well, when the tradition is when you ask for, or somebody asks you, like, would you like coffee? And when you say yes, they say, how would you like it? You can say sade, means like plain, like no sugar. You can say medium, that's like little sugar. Or you can say şekerli, meaning like I want it like sweet.
Okay. So this has no sugar, right?
I don't know.
No? We're going to try it.
We'll
Okay.
see.
I think, can we try it together?
Of course.
Yes, of course.
Do I drink all of the water?
You don't have
You don't have to. This is without sugar. It's plain.
Okay, this is delicious and it's foamy. So tell me about the foam, because not every coffee cup I have has this much foam in it.
The quality of the Turkish coffee is measured by the foam on top. It's a funny story when people get married. They measure how good the bride can cook or make coffee is measured by like how she makes coffee, if it has enough foam on top.
That's funny. Okay, tell me why. So at home when I make coffee, which is not Turkish coffee, I serve it in a really, really big mug. Is it just tradition to have a smaller cup to drink it in, to savor it?
Yes.
Yes, it is. And I think it's also because it's very strong. That's one of the reasons.
You don't want to drink the big mug of Turkish coffee.
It's similar to, not in the taste, but the style is like espresso. You have it. This will be enough for the day.
Yes. Okay. We'll see. Well, I want to thank you both again for just inviting us to your space, treating us like friends, and inviting us into
Of course.
learning and sharing about community and building beautiful community through the food that you served and the programs that you host here at Dialogue Institute and the programs you take with you into the community. So thank you again so much for inviting us into your space.
Thank you so much.
It's our pleasure.
As you heard in this conversation, the Dialogue Institute offers monthly cooking classes and lots of ways to get engaged. I encourage you, and I know that I'm going to try it, but I encourage you to attend one of the cooking classes and experience that community, and maybe meet some new people from different backgrounds and make new friends in the process. For more information on how you can get connected with the work that Dialogue Institute is doing, you can visit our website, fumcr.com/morethansunday, where you'll find information that was shared in this episode, including links to registering for some of their cooking classes. Thank you so much for listening to this conversation, and I hope you've enjoyed it. And I hope you tune in again next Wednesday for a new episode where we visit a new restaurant and we learn more about building community around food. I hope you have a great day.